So what crises are going on in the global youth culture? I think the two biggest crises are the ones that I've mentioned already, the identity crisis and the relationship crisis. I'll refer it back again to two aspects that I think are very strong influences in our culture. The secularism takes away the truth, it takes away the ground we stand on. It leaves us in that place where nobody can define things. So it means it's very hard to define who I am. It means it's very hard to define relationships, because if I can't define what love is, for instance, as a term, as a concept, then how can I really have a relationship? The moment you take away any reference beyond ourselves, it's very hard to define anything. So the crisis comes through that. And the second influence I've mentioned also is this consumer culture. And consumer culture really affects our identities and our relationships. And it's not just Christians saying this, it's sociologists, it's non-Christian philosophers speaking into this. Zygmunt Bauman is a Polish sociologist. We're in Poland now, and he talked a lot about social media and the way it affects our relationships. He talked about consumer culture, how it affects our identities and the way we see ourselves. I think the fact that we've come to believe that we can define who we are by the things we consume leaves us in this crisis of saying, well, how can I define that? I don't know. The options are infinite, and we end up in this place where we're trying to come up with our own opinions of who we are, and we're in an echo chamber because we're using social media to try to express that and get feedback. So I'm saying, this is what I want, this is who I am, this is what I think, and I'm trying to get some feedback from that. So I'm looking for the likes, I'm looking for the followings, and it doesn't do it. It doesn't help me define myself. It doesn't give me any satisfaction. It doesn't do enough. And Timothy Keller said in one of his Easter preachings recently that you can only really define who you are, your identity, when somebody you deeply love and respect affirms who you are and loves you and respects you. And the problem is we don't really have many references, or maybe no references, in this generation of people that we love and respect and truly trust. And families are broken, relationships are fluid. So how can I define who I am? Well, there's only one person who I could truly love and respect, and that is God. And when He's out the picture, I can't define myself. So crisis of identity leads to a deep feeling of loneliness. That is predominant everywhere in society today. Global youth culture is marked by loneliness. People don't know how to belong, how to be part of a community, how to relate to each other. And it also leaves this feeling of lack of purpose, of meaninglessness. Don't know why I'm here by accident.